Hello, hello, hello. How are you? So, I got something a little bit different tonight, this morning. As you know, it's the crossover. So, without further delay, let's get to it.
Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
So, this one is going to mark something I've been, as I explained in an earlier video, I am making videos, I'm just not posting them. The reason for that is, obviously I'm going through a separation, pending divorce, that type of thing. So what I will say, as I'm almost sure I've said before, I'm not sure whether or not some of the videos, like I said, I'm making videos. It's just I haven't posted most of them, so I'm not sure whether or not I posted some of them where I said some things already. So what I will say is there are some things that I can say pertaining to my relationship. There are some things that I cannot say, and there are some things that I will not say. So they can say, for the most part, I'm an open book on that in that regard. I have nothing to hide. So I will talk about that, you know, hands down, as I will talk about something today. The cannot say, that's things where I can't necessarily talk about them in this sense, like right now. Maybe post divorce, like some of the videos I have marked, and they're going to broadcast after sometime in June, July next year, 2024. So you can look forward to that. But there are some videos that we'll post then. But I I don't feel comfortable talking about them until then. And then there are some things that I will not say. As you know, everyone has dirty laundry. I am one of those people. I don't kiss and tell like that. Well, I don't mind, telling who I've kissed in that regard. But I'm talking about for like devious reasons. I'm not gonna try to bring someone down, contrary to what some people believe about me. Yes, I am an ass. I'm not gonna run from that. Yes, I can be an ass. I can be very blunt. But the funny thing is, like, a lot of people really don't know how much I actually bite my tongue and how much I actually don't say, even though I could say it. So I kind of eat it. It's like, hey, if you want to label me that, fine. I don't mind it. But I find it ironic because I see them, you know, kind of like false flag and people that act like they care about something, and then when it's time to do something, they're like, oh well, I mean, somebody else should do that. Or, no, I'm one of those people where if I say something about it, if the time comes, if there's an opportunity, I'm going to do something about it. And oftentimes the opportunity never comes, so I just make it happen anyway. So, and that actually takes me to something that what I want to talk about today. I said something in an earlier video. I'm pretty sure I posted it. How do you know whether or not a guy is actually fucking with you? JV, he refers to something called, fool with you for real. Of course, he refrains from cursing, using certain curse words. I curse like a sailor. So how do you know a guy fucks with you? Like for real. Like he's down for you. Like he's put in his mind, he's like, hey, you're my chick. We're going all out. That's it. Well, I'm gonna talk about one of those things. I think I talked about something earlier in a prior video. Some signs about how to tell he's committed. Um, I'm gonna do a little bit of a series, and I'm gonna introduce something. So if you look in the top right corner of the video, you'll notice that things change. This is This is still crossover, but this part right here is that star-crossed thing. So a star-crossed lover, if you're not aware of it, it's like forbidden love, right? So actually, some of the cannot videos that I was talking about that are going to air, you're actually going to see this in those videos. So that's what those videos will be marked by. Instead of just the typical crossover, they'll be star-crossed. Okay, so I'm still kind of racking my brain on whether or not I'm still going to do them like the crossover, where I still air them kind of like that late night, early morning time. But for now, I'm going to maintain it. So star-crossed, that's what this is going to stand for. Okay, so in relation to this, there's one thing that I was talking to with an individual who's actually probably watching this video right now. I gave her a little bit of insight last night. Actually, I told her ahead of time, but I was like, one of those signs that you can actually tell a guy actually really like he for real fucks with you is he is mortally offended if you have a problem and he's not the first person you call or go to. Even if he can't solve that problem, even if you know he can't solve that problem, he still wants to be part of the process to help solve that problem. Because as I've, expressed and or explained in the other series that I did, Trials of Men, one of the basic primal, I'm talking about it's in our DNA functions of guys that makes us go, that makes us do shit, is our willingness, our ability, and our desire to solve problems, not just for ourselves, but for the people that we actually really genuinely care about, especially those individuals. And I am, and mind you, remember what I just said, mortally offended. So if you can go look that word up, shout out JB, of course, he always dropping words, but I've always, I have my words of my own that I like to use, but mortally offended, yes. Not just offended, because some little weak ass dude, he can be a little offended because, like I said, that's just a basic guy thing. We want to solve problems. So yeah, a guy that doesn't really fuck with you like that, yeah, he'll be offended you didn't go to him, but because he doesn't really fuck with you like that, he's not gonna be that offended. He's like, oh well, hell, you could have came to me for that. No, a guy that's actually mortally offended, he's not gonna let that shit go. And he's gonna let you know, like straight up, hey, next time this happens, come to me. If you went to one of your little guy friends, which women today, shout out Hoe Culture, women today tend to have. You go to one of your little secret guy friends that you got, that you don't tell your guy about. Yeah, I know about that. You go to one of your secret guy friends that you think your man doesn't know about. I use that word for a reason. That you think your man doesn't know about. Guys always know. We always know. You think your man doesn't know about that? And now I'm talking about the guys that actually fuck with you, because we notice little subtle changes in our women. We know the signs. So the guys that actually really do fuck with you, yeah, we're gonna know the signs. It's more than just you're with us because you represent us type thing, like a narcissist, like we own you, that type thing. No, it's not even that. It's like you're me. You are me in a way. Not that I own you or anything like that. No, it's you are me. So I'm going to, now I know you're your own being and everything, but let's just be real. When you committed to me, I'm like, all right, you're me now. I'm taking care of you like I'm taking care of myself. So if you have a problem, I have to solve it. That's on me. Now, if you're instead going to other people first, now there's two different things here. You're going to someone else first to try and solve your problems. If your man finds out about that, now mind you, you might come to him with the problems eventually, but if he finds out you went to somebody else first, if he really fucks with you, he's going to be mortally offended. He's going to remember that, and it will stay for as long as you guys are, because remember I said mortally offended. And if you don't know what that means, shout out JB. It means like you're almost killing him, like you're killing him. So he's not gonna let that shit go at all. And I had this other saying where I forgive, but I do not forget. So if you mortally offend this man, that's if he really fucks with you. He's not gonna let that shit go. He's gonna let you know straight up. And for a period of time, he might even ask you from time to time, because he's kind of questioning whether or not you will come to him. Because mind you, that is a telltale sign of something when a woman doesn't come to her man when she has problems. Like I said, ladies, if your guy really fucks with you, he's paying attention. He knows the warning signs and shit. That's if he's a guy that actually knows what he's doing. But if he really fucks with you, and to some extent, actually, I believe that's also like part of our DNA. Like I'm one of those people that there is, of course, you know, people don't talk about it much, but there are studies where it does show like, hey, memory seems to be passed down through DNA as well. So not just through your experiences, because there are some basic functions and stuff with all creatures where they just know things, you know, like animals in the animal kingdom. It's like, how does that animal actually know to do that and not to do that? Because you realize animals don't communicate like we do. They more so use calls and sign language. And yes, the mom can teach the children, but for some inherent reason, it's like they kind of know stuff already. They know like certain creatures you kind of have to be cautious of. You know, don't just run up on anything. You gotta be careful. And that's just animals, just in nature, as well as humans. Like we don't really consider how complex language is, yet a child can pick it up damn near instantly. A little 1-year-old, 2-year-old child can pick up language instantly. And mind you, we grown adults, you know, trying to learn a new language takes us, you know, it's hard, significantly harder. So yes, their brain is a lot more malleable. Their brain is in a different state that actually makes it easier for them to learn. But there is some things where it's like, okay, you know, how are you able to really know and understand what these words actually mean? And I haven't actually explained them to you, because that's what a child actually does. And I hope you realize that they understand the meaning of the word you're saying, and you technically didn't tell them what the word what means. You didn't actually tell them what the word bad means. You didn't actually tell them what the word good means. You didn't actually tell them what any of these words that I'm saying in the sentence, the, a, hey, you didn't tell them what any of those words mean, but yet your child is here and you're actually able to have somewhat of a sentence. You're actually able to tell your child something to do, and they do it. I could do that with my daughter when she wasn't even like 1 year old. She understood what I was saying. Hey, come here. She'd come to me. Hey, go get that thing. And I point, and she looked, and then she'd go in that direction, but she didn't know what the thing was. And that's the one thing where we do have to teach them like certain names of things, but it's like she understood I'm directing her to do something. Like she was understanding the words I was saying to an extent, and I never explained them to her. You see? So there is part that makes me. Of course, there have been studies where they're like, okay, it's from the offspring of animals that, you know. I don't know about if you know about the rat in the maze thing, where they had a pregnant mom rat. She was running through a maze. I think they sprinkled like some cat pee in certain areas, and then like a piece of cheese was in the center of the maze, and she had to get to the cheese. And they timed her. Of course, she would, you know, try to avoid the cat pee areas because, you know, obviously, you know, cats are bad for mice. I think she was actually a lab rat, so for rats. So she would avoid the areas with the cat pee, and then she would go to the cheese, and she'd find a route. And each time they time her, she'd get faster and faster and faster and faster, and then eventually to the point where she can go right to the cheese. Like as soon as they put her in the maze, she go right to the cheese, just like that. And the funny thing was, when they took one of the offspring from that rat, because mind you, rats don't live that long, it's like 2 years. But they took one of the offsprings from that mother rat, because remember, she was pregnant. They put that offspring in the maze, and he, right then, right there, first try, he went right to the cheese. Never been in the maze. I don't even think they exposed him to cat pee or anything like that. He might have been exposed to cheese. I forgot whether or not, but of course they had to feed him, so they probably did. But right then, right there, just like that mom rat learned how to get straight to the cheese. As soon as they put that offspring in the damn maze, he went directly to the cheese. Never been in the maze before, never done the maze before. He went there and he just went straight to the cheese, just like the mom rat. After I forgot how many tries it took for her to get there that fast. So there is there is a part of us as being, and mind you, there's still a lot we don't know about ourselves. To be honest, we still have yet to really understand the human brain. To be honest, but there's a lot of that we don't know about ourselves. So to an extent, there is some part of us where it's just in our DNA and it's learned through our DNA. And one of those things when it comes to us as guys, as males, there's also things with women as females as well. But one of the things that come to us is our willingness, our desire, like we crave to solve problems, which is one of those things that leads us why it's so important to find a purpose, because that's like, setting goals in life. So when you have a purpose, okay, now you have a direction to go. You have something to succeed and something to overcome, you see, all the while solving problems. I talked about how video games relate to that. So if your guy fucks with you, if he really fucks with you, ladies, I'm talking about really, really, like he really fucks with you, he is going to be mortally offended if you go to anyone else before him. And to be honest, if you don't give him enough time to solve the issue, like say you go to him, he's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to see if I can solve this problem. If you go to him and you kind of brush him off because he doesn't know the answer to a problem right then and right there, if you don't give him at least a little bit of time to try and figure it out, to try to ask, and because mind you, we do ask for help when we need to. Guys do that. We understand the power of the group. So we will conspire with each other to try and solve problems. That's actually the thing that the guys do when we get together. Women like to get together and complain about the problems. Guys get together and what we're actually supposed to do, the actual masculine guys. Well, we actually do, like one of my homeboys, talking to him the other day. Yeah, we were talking about issues and problems in our life. But we weren't just talking about them and complaining about them. Hell, we were like, hey, this is what you should do. This is what you should do about that. This is what you do about this. Hey, try this out. See, like we're trying to solve the damn problem right then, right there on the spot, because we're conspiring with each other. We're trying to figure out a plan of action. You see, that's how guys do it. So he is definitely going to be mortally offended if you don't at least allow him the space to try to solve this problem, because he wants to. Mind you, he fucks with you for real. He wants to solve that problem for you. He does. The next thing I was going to say, like if you go to anybody first and if you don't tell him about the problem, so if you're trying to hide the problem, which kind of aligns with that, because sometimes if you don't go to somebody first with the problems, they might not be necessarily aware of it. But even if you go to someone else first, you can still probably tell him, like, after you tried it a couple times yourself and it didn't work out, and now you got to go, and oftentimes you actually make the problem worse. That's happened to me a couple times, try to come solve somebody's problem. I'm like, okay, what the hell happened here? And it's like a lot worse than it should be. And they're like, oh, well, we tried to solve it. And I'm like, okay, come to me next time, please. Come to me next time, please. And yes, it might seem like he's annoyed. And to some extent, it is a little extra. That's why it's important not to be a burden. But at the same time, it's like, guys know, like, I know, like, okay, there's going to be some issues. There's going to be problems. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But at the same time, I mean, you could try not to make problems, but we get it. Problems happen. Let me fix it. Because I'd rather be a little bit annoyed because I have to fix a problem versus you doing something stupid and going and telling somebody else, some other man in your life, about your problem. And I have to find out about it. Now you've mortally offended me. And whether or not this relationship continues, I don't know. And there's been some ladies where you've actually been downgraded and you don't even know it. Now, mind you, yes, I'm talking about from the guy's side, but let's just be real, ladies. You don't tell your dude that you're about to leave his ass. I mean, y'all monkey branch all the damn time. That's why there's always overlap between your current dude and your last dude. You already know you are already talking to the next that guy that you're about to get with or jump into bed with. You already know this. You know him. You're talking to him right now. Okay? It's no surprise. So in that instance where you mortally offend your guy, you might have actually been considered for marriage. You might have been wifey status. I hope you know you just demoted yourself. So now he's like, he was thinking about, okay, this is serious. I'll give it a year, and then after that, I'm serious. I'm all in. Bam. He ready to get the ring and everything in 1 year. Then you mortally offend him. If it's still on the table, mind you, that's if. If it's still on the table, he's like, you know what? I might need to give this actually some more time. So I said before this happened, 1 year, but you know what? Maybe I should give it another 2 years. So I'll wait 2 or 3 years now. I'm just, and that's how that goes. And that's if it stays on the table, because oftentimes, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, side chick. Yeah, marriage ain't even on the table no more. Yeah, we cool. We cool. So it's just, yeah, we'll just keep it there. But yeah, you trust me, if that guy really fucks with you for real, tell him your problems. We want to solve your problems. We really do. Like, I don't want to have to find out through some weird side tactics or anything like that. Like, why you're acting different, why you're acting all strange and shit. And now I got to be like Sherlock Holmes and I got to figure it out because you literally won't come to me with your problems. And I literally want to help solve your problems. And now I'm wondering, why the hell won't you come to me with your problems now? And then that little voice in the back of our head that knows that women tend to monkey branch, you know, tend to become bonded to more than one guy at a time. And when you're about to monkey branch from one guy to another, you're about to let go of your emotional attachment to the prior guy and you're latching on to the next guy. So, yeah. Also, it also means that you value someone else's input over your own man's input. So now you're not just offending him by not coming to him. You're offending his manhood. To be honest, you're actually to an extent you're actually emasculating him to an extent. That's what it comes off to. Not only is it disrespectful, which mind you, I already talked about that in men as well, in the Trials of Men respect. So this is crossing a bunch of Rubicons you don't want to cross. It really is. You're disrespecting him to an extent, especially if you're going to another man. It's emasculating because now it's like, ooh, I value this other man's input over yours. Yeah, it's not it's you are mortally offending your man, especially if he fucks with you. Now, if that guy doesn't give a shit about you, like if he don't really fuck with you like that, you go to another guy, he like, oh, such and such help me solve a problem. All right, cool. he really doesn't give a shit. All he's thinking in his head is, cool, that's one less problem I gotta solve for your ass. Cool, that other nigga want to solve your problems. Cool, that's awesome. All right, now get in this bedroom. Like, you know, yeah, if he don't really fuck with you like that, he doesn't mind if other people solve your problems because to him it's just one less problem. All right, cool. Hey, that other dude solved that problem for you. All right, cool. That's how it is for real. So this has been the crossover. Thanks for listening. Of course, this is just information. Now, this one was specifically for the ladies. So ladies, you know, this helps y'all out. Of course, I'm gonna drop some for the guys. I mean, some guys out there probably learned a little bit something about yourselves as well. You know, you learned a little bit something about yourself as well. Now you know why you acted a certain way when she did a certain thing. And now, if you didn't know before, I helped you. But now it's time to go. All my timers are going off. My darn power's starting to cut off. I have little auto setters for when I have to leave. But, you know, this is information.
Don't let me down, man. If you let me down, I don't know what I'd do.
And you already know what to do with that. So thank you for watching. And until next time, folks. お前はもう死んでいる。